Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am deleted scenes human being American and YouTube Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood 21. This series chronicles the 1990s cult classic television series Twin Peaks, which ran for 2 seasons on ABC. Its prequel film, Fire Walk with Me, and its 25 years later sequel series, The Return, which ran on Showtime in 2017, as well as the films of David Lynch and all of the multimedia surrounding Twin Peaks. Joining me on this odyssey, the superfans. Last call, Troy Pacelli. You are muted, sir.
I don't know why. I wasn't muted a second ago, and I never touched it.
His better half, Knitters Network.
Good evening.
And the president of the Flappy Fan Club, Aged Boomer.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. I'd like to say hello to a few people who've joined us here in the live chat. First off, I want to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. Can't see you, but I know that you're there. Also want to say hello to channel member JPRPH1. My co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Enigma Severus. Swinging the big blue wrench, or the blig blue wrench, whichever. Channel member, tired midnight blogger himself, Curtis Shelby. Scrolling down, I don't want to miss anyone. Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Con Cleary. All right. Unfortunately, in the previous episode of Twin Peaks, we did suffer the loss of a major character, and we also did get the identity of the killer confirmed. Of course, at this point, as everyone knows, it was Laura's father, Leland, who's been responsible for, well, I mean, I can't say responsible, as he is technically a split personality, because he has been taken over by the evil spirit, Bob, and has unfortunately done in his niece, who is kind of Laura's look-alike, Madeline Ferguson. And this episode is basically the aftermath of that. And we also had another loss, if I recall correctly. Harold Smith is also confirmed dead at the beginning of the episode as well. Am I remembering correctly?
That is correct. Right. I was going to say, though, regarding Leland, I suppose it's not completely inaccurate to say he has a split personality, but depending on how you look at it, you may look at it as true dissociative disorder, or you may see it as actual otherworldly possession. I come a little short of saying demonic possession, because Bob may not be a demon in the truest Judeo-Christian sense of the term, but if you think of demons and angels and being other dimensional creatures, then yeah, I guess it would be a kind of possession. So to the extent that he is responsible, I would say you're right, probably not.
I'm curious. Do we consider Harold Smith to have died in the last episode, or did he die in the episode prior and we didn't see it because it was off screen?
I would have to say that regardless of when his death occurs temporally, it doesn't manifest until it's confirmed. Until the dead body is shown. It's Schrodinger's hiding man.
My theory would be he went that night after Donna and Maddie and James make their escape, and I got to think it was probably that night, and then he just wasn't found until Hawk goes up there to look for him. So,
but he also messed with the diary, didn't he?
Yes, well, he messed with a number of things, but he because yes, he did have the famous secret diary, and did his own editing on it, as I like to say, by ripping some pages apart. So they're kind of having to put the secret diary back together again, which already had pages ripped out of it, thanks to Leland, aka Bob, at that point. So, yeah.
Speculation I don't think I've ever made before. Is it possible that some of those pages may have been torn out by Laura herself?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Before she gave it to what's his name?
Possibly, yes. And again, this is a knowing what we know now kind of stream. So we know that some of those pages turn up again in the, and it's probably worth paying attention to and mentioning in this before we start this episode, in the police station, in the bathroom, the men's bathroom. I think it's the men's bathroom. Yeah. Within the door, some of those pages are hidden. I believe we are to assume that those were put there by Leland.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that opportunity presents itself as we originally saw it.
Ben Horn revealed something to his daughter.
Mm-hmm. He
I don't want to dwell too much on that, but
basically confirmed that pretty much her worst fears: A, that he owns One-Eyed Jacks, or at least did, and that he had an affair with Laura, which she already suspected, but she just got the confirmation. And of course, Ben, speaking of Ben, has been arrested at this point for suspicion of being involved in Laura's murder. So we have that as well.
Which the police have no way of knowing. We know that that he is at least innocent of that.
Mm-hmm.
He is not an innocent man, but he is at least innocent of that particular charge.
Mm-hmm.
And the giant appeared again.
Yes, he did. And
whom we have now, since season 3, come to know as the Fireman.
Mm-hmm.
I like to give people a name when we have them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because I don't remember. Why is he called the Fireman?
That's a very interesting question. That's one of those ones that we're going to debate why he's called the Fireman. But I would argue on the most surface level of that, he's someone who is trying to help with a devastating, destructive force. He's literally fighting a trans-dimensional fire, so to speak, in Judy and Bob.
Shape
That's
T-
that's
Shape
but that's
T.
just a Troy theory.
And,
Yeah.
Jamie Lynn.
And Enigma Cyber suggests he's called the fireman because he always brings a spark to the scene.
Kind of does. Yeah.
Interestingly, we also see images of fire and whatnot with the lumberjacks that appear like burned bodies. So we'll talk more about that come season 3.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I say let's get started. If everybody will please join us over on Cosme. The link should be at the now bottom. I guess YouTube has decided on at the bottom of the chats. It's also physically in the chat itself. Please join us over there. I do want to remind everyone, of course, this is a watch party. There are rules that YouTube has involving copyright in the United States. We cannot air the show physically on the air without either having to turn it into a slideshow, stop it every 8 to 30 seconds and fill it up with commentary, or just put a bunch of watermarks over everything, which takes quite a bit of time to do. And we all have jobs. So, yeah. So what you can do if you are watching this live along with us is to simply go to the Cosme link that is in the chat. The show is available in its entirety, uncut and in viewing order on Paramount Plus. Should you choose to use that particular streaming service, or even better yet, get the physical media. So all 3 seasons are available either on DVD or Blu-ray. So there's we do recommend doing that. So.
Yep.
All right. Enigma says it's so nice to delete it to say rules when we really know they're edicts of insanity. Insanity, I say. Yeah. We don't make the rules, guys, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, and I would also say, even more simply than that, if you don't know the rules and you don't think through the copyright implications, if you were unable to read the words in the thumbnail, okay,
yes,
that say link to off-platform live episode stream provided in live chat, live being bold and underlined and italic, live tells you didn't show up live. I'm sorry, you're kind of on your own. So,
yeah,
and I'll be happy to reiterate that to anybody who gets cocky in the comments at some future date.
And of course, welcome the channel member Geek Flag with Nate Knows, who's not here. Unfortunately, he is still at work. Hopefully, he'll be able to join us later over on Troy's channel for Sherlock Holmes. Yep. Which, if you stay till the end of the program on my channel, those of you who are watching on my channel, you will be automatically redirected over to Troy's channel.
Likewise on my channel and Netter's channel. But the reason you will not be forwarded if you are watching on Aged Boomer's channel is because he tragically is not yet at 500 members, and I am making it my goal to get him those subscribers, the magic 500 number, by the end of July. So everybody, please, that is listening, check and make sure that you are subscribed to Aged Boomer so that we never have to, worry about being transferred to the next stream when we're watching on his channel.
Thank you.
And for those of you who have alternate IDs, please make sure you're sub with all of them.
So for all of you that are carrying around a Chalfont or a Bob or a Mike, make sure that they subscribe as well. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's been said that Flappy would polish his beak with furniture polish. I heard that.
I mean, he'll say polished. I'd say sniff, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
He had problems, but
He
don't we
did.
all?
Oh, that's true.
Twin Peaks.
To be fair, he didn't have the same level of problems that Laura and Maddie had. Just saying.
Or Leo.
Well, Leo kind of made his own problems.
I'm sure his daddy beat him when he was little. Leo.
People use that as an excuse for people, and I'm like, that makes it even worse because you know how horrible it is, and you chose to go out and be the same way.
I say that because the Joker said that once on Batman the Animated Series, and it turned out it was complete BS.
Yeah,
just saying, oh, my dad broke my nose when I was 5.
Yeah.
Joan Chen. That's the bad music.
Yes, it is. It's interesting you point that out because music is so much a part of this show. It really does set the mood.
Okay, they just showed the outside of the house, and for some reason the house actually looked evil.
Yeah, because it's a colonial. It's a similar build to like the Amityville house. It's become associated with bad things in pop culture.
Are those golf balls?
Yep. You must have fairly high ceilings to be able to do that.
Yeah, and what is he hitting?
He's chipping golf balls into, I'm assuming, a wall. It would be insane if he was hitting the golf balls at the dead body. Not something I would put. See, that's where it's actually going. But the truth is that even Bob is going to be at least a little bit reserved in trying not to get caught.
He has to be careful when he's hitting those golf balls because there's a window behind that chair.
But yeah, that gets across that Bob is completely in charge right now. Now, another thing that fans have kind of, I don't want to say debated about, but gone back and forth and discussed is this whole idea about how and when when Bob is in charge, right? Is he perceivable by, you know, the ones with the weirding ability, right? Like Laura, Sarah, you know, so on and so forth. We know that Maddie saw him, if only briefly, when he attacked her, but she didn't see him prior to that. Sarah saw him sometimes, but not always. Laura clearly didn't see him, her father, as Bob, except at those very certain times where she was being attacked.
He does.
He's probably been in those same clothes for 24 hours or more.
Haagen Dazs. I mean, no. Yeah.
Good point.
It's a reasonable question at this point, dude. I mean, come on.
True, but what he just said is also true.
Yeah.
He cannot knowingly suborn perjury. Well, we can't tell anybody that. And hail, Emily Kruger. Good to see you over there on the,
Hey.
I believe you are on the X. Is that the case? Is that where you're viewing from?
I believe so.
Well, be sure to join us in the Cosme
Welcome,
Room,
Matt.
which I don't know is available to you through X. You might have to come over to one of the YouTube channels to see the link.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, in a little bit of a flashback here. I don't feel he's getting the full prison experience. He needs to have a roomie named Bubba. Well, he's not really in prison so much because he hasn't been convicted yet. He is in holding. Okay, they had a pretty cool babysitter. You know, we can get this on TikTok now, lady. Yes, but that was not the case in their younger days. Heck, that wasn't even the case back in the days when this aired.
I forgot she was in this.
Yeah. Jeez.
They even have the same hairstyle. So my best friend.
Thank you.
It's funny.
It does seem to be a commentary on what ended up becoming the woke idiocy. I don't think he knows much of anything right now.
But he didn't do it.
I mean, when you thought it was the Canadian, you had no problem going and killing him. But the idea that it might be Van Horn. Yes, thank you so much, Big Al. We absolutely are. I know, from Bob's perspective, that's got to be pretty funny, actually. Crazy bastard. Yeah, goofball weirdo.
He's evil.
I mean, yes. You're not wrong.
Now, does Bob have access to Leland's memories in case somebody
Yes.
asks him questions?
I
Yes,
do
okay.
believe he does, yes.
Yes. So he can access what he needs in case someone's trying to fake him
If
out.
for no other reason, I think because Bob has been a, shall we say, passenger of his for a long time.
I think Bob would get along with the dudes from Clockwork Orange.
You might be right.
Oh, no. I hate to say it, when he was getting the gloves on, I thought it was something else. Okay.
Yeah.
First, I thought he was going to give him a.
Yep. That's what Boomer was saying. If your license has been revoked in Illinois, you've got to be pretty damn bad. It is like Jekyll and Hyde. That is true.
Oh, crap.
Oh.
Actually, he absolutely can. You
Cooper's
don't have to
very,
answer any questions.
Cooper's very good at his job.
Yes, he is.
Like he knows how to talk to different suspects. It's
Yes, he
like,
does.
yes.
I mean, that's probably the most honest thing that he's ever said.
Whoopsie. And also not helping Ben's case. So you got Ben hiring Leo to torch the mill,
Right.
which is attempted murder on Shelley, and murder, they think at this point, on Catherine, who
True.
everybody thinks is dead in the fire. This is not helping.
Plus, setting a fire in an area that's probably heavily wooded. That's not good. I mean,
And as we come to find out in season 3, basically messes with the entire economical structure of the town. Because the
True.
mill's gone.
Enigma, he's effectively trying to recuse himself, but he's not actually recusing himself. He would have to go before the judge and say, I can't be objective, or I have a conflict of interest in representing my brother, or whatever the case is.
you know what's messed up? If you were tuning in Twin Peaks for the first time, you'd think that this guy Leo they're talking about is their baby.
Yeah. And then when you find out it's her husband, her invalid husband, and she's having an affair, you would think that she was a horrible person.
Yes.
Now, let's be honest, she's not perfect, but she's not horrible. Ooh, meatloaf?
She's not innocent, though. Wow.
Well, he won the Victorian Cross, Different film. Right. Sorry.
Right.
Ernie looks like an Ernie, doesn't he?
Kind of.
He does.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's one way of saying it.
That means he rips people off, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is so bad. The poor trucker's just trying to eat his food, right?
Exactly. Now, for more on Norma's history with her mother and father and stepfather and so forth, you should check out the Secret History of Twin Peaks.
Yes.
I think the Great Northern is the only hotel in the area.
Yeah, it's not that big a town, so it really shouldn't have more than one, grand hotel. Shouldn't even have the one grand hotel.
Well, I'm sure there's tourist destination, right? Great outdoors.
Now
Yeah.
she knows her mother married a gambler.
Which isn't such a bad thing if he's
Wow.
actually good.
Uh-oh.
Bam. Random red shirt. Happens all the time.
Well, I guess I feel like he did what he was supposed to do, but he still got hit. It's
Still doesn't explain where you were or what you were doing.
Well, everyone has light. And when you show that light, there is light within you. I'm sorry, our former vice president said words to that effect.
right.
I don't think she knew what she was saying.
I
don't think
remember
she
that
ever
quote.
knows what she's saying. When you drink that heavily, I know firsthand sometimes you don't know what you're saying.
Binoculars.
Oh, Pete, thank God, sanity.
Where they all belong to a bird club too.
If you live in a place like Twin Peaks, it probably behooves you to appreciate the finer points of nature.
Florida has birds.
Yeah, but unfortunately in Florida, they tend to burst into flames.
Nice sandhill crane, huh? They like to eat the bugs off the grass.
He's
Look
laying
at
it on a
Pete.
bit thick now. Oh, they're talking about Josie.
Josie.
An Asian fellow.
A lot. Every Asian cannot be named Lee.
Right.
Many are, though.
Things just gotten worse.
We're getting a lot of ominous music this episode. Have you noticed that?
Yes, and I just saw Enigma's comment, which I never thought of before. Josie's on a vacation far away. I guess she is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Man down.
Oh boy.
She was on an episode of Batman the Animated Series.
With Andy at this point, I would be wanting to check his blood pressure, his sugar levels.
Oh, we'll get to the mill later, son. First things first.
He's like the Joker.
Yeah. This is Pete being a little sadistic, but
yes,
I think he earned it.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a Harkonian.
True.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It took me so long to fully understand the implications of him saying she set me up. In other words, she truly played a long game here. Her hiding after the fire and her dealings with Japan?
Mm-hmm.
All to put him in this situation and screw him out of the deal.
And now he doesn't have a pillow.
Well, you could take the one from the top bunk.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
No, Enigma, you're missing the point. The information that's on that tape, he needs and can't get. He needs for Catherine to be alive, which she is, and to testify on his behalf, which she may or may not do, depending on what he does for her. Right, that's true.
did you think it was going to work?
I have a suspicion he's wanting to do something else with that club.
Yeah, that's what Enigma is saying. Bold. I'd say it's less bold and just more impulsively insane. He's very Joker-esque.
Look at that face.
In terms of various alignments in Dungeons and Dragons, Bob would absolutely be chaotic evil. In a way, she's actually worse than
Lucy.
Lucy. Yeah, I almost said Kimmy again.
I'm glad Andy told her, shut up. This
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you.
And they were both in agreement on that one. Maybe. Wow. Nope, that ain't him.
Nice going, Jerry.
Well, he did warn you. You should get a better lawyer. Just saying.
Mhm.
Here's the thing, and this might seem to be counter to what Cooper says in the first episode. He said this is my case, basically invoking federal federal law, right? Because it's an investigation over a possible serial killing in multiple states. However, the specific charge against Ben Horn is a local charge for a local murder. Federal government doesn't really have the right to supersede the local police on that. This is actually preeminence working the way it's supposed to. This isn't the way it works in real life, but it's the way it's supposed to work in real life.
Are those baby back ribs he's eating or St. Louis style?
Well, I need to see them again to see if they're baby back ribs, but I don't know what St. Louis style is.
They're the larger ones.
Now I want ribs.
Sorry.
Well, Mug's ribs are like the best around here.
Yeah. I'm looking at Hank's tie. Is that a
The domino.
dice?
It's a domino.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. It's the little details you missed the first time around. Is that what I think it is?
That's cherry pie and milk.
Yeah, I'm not answering the door without a gun anymore.
Let me see your hands first. No, it was a wood tick. And this is the other decision that Bob makes that makes it very obvious that he isn't. Well, we know he's not stable. We know he's reckless. But he's also not that smart. When and this is where we make the divergence from real world serial killers. Usually real world serial killers are psychopaths that have very thought through methodologies and are very analytical. And it takes very little thought to realize if someone has been arrested for the crime that you are guilty of, maybe you don't commit a crime while that person is in prison or in lockup under surveillance. to prove that he couldn't have done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But yes, I think I think it goes without saying that Bob is, yes, indeed, crazy.
He's a bad egg too.
He is, yeah. He probably wouldn't have made it to the end of Willy Wonka's tour.
No, no.
But that was a pretty straightforward episode, though. There wasn't a whole lot of woo-woo there, right? If you go on with perhaps the assumption, if you go on the premise that Mike really can sense when Bob is near, then he's functioning as a good, indicator, a good meter, right? Because he recognizes that that Bob was not in the room when they were questioning Ben Horn. And again, Leland going and dumping the body so it could be found and pretty much proving that it wasn't Ben, that kind of...
Well, it depends on when the body was dumped. I mean, they're going to do other forensic things to do a timeline to see, okay, was Ben free when this happened, or was he in jail at the time?
You make a good point. If that's the case and they are able to ascertain with that level of specificity, then it would bear out that that the body was dropped there after he was already in prison, at least based on the and again, I shouldn't have said prison, I should have said in lockup, detention. We saw the timeline there, and we know that he'd probably been in the lockup for about 24 hours by the time Leland, pulled off to the side of the road. He saw the body in the car, and then he dumped her. And then it was that night that she was found.
I think the fact, though, that it's two people living in that same house that have now died, I'm sorry. They have to be, it has to be Leland.
Right.
Now.
You're saying going beyond the information we know as the audience. If you were one of the investigators.
If he had killed somebody else, like another one of the women in town, but Maddie, who looks a lot like Laura too, I mean, almost identical. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is something
in isolation. In isolation, that fact wouldn't necessarily point to Leland or anyone in the house. It would be, well, obviously, she looked like Laura. Whoever had the motive to kill Laura wanted her dead as well. It might sway the thinking from, okay, Ben wants to kill her because of he's concerned about blackmail, right? Well, there would be no reason to kill Maddie over that, right? Mm-hmm. So that would not be a logical motive for him. So then you start going, because she looked like her, then you start thinking irrational motivations. I'll tell you, just as much as you might look to Leland, you could also look at Dr. Jacoby with that. Had this thing with Laura. Oh, she looks like Laura. Again, the unstable mind. But the other thing that Cooper is thinking is, what about the connection with help me out here, what's her name down south that Leland was seeing when he was, in quotes, away on business?
Teresa
Banks, right?
That's who they're all forgetting about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teresa is still an element here, and as long as she is, maybe not so much from Truman's perspective, but definitely from the bigger picture Cooper perspective. He sees, why would Leland be any more a suspect than anyone else? What is the connection? That the through line for Teresa Banks, Ronette Pulaski, Laura Palmer, and now Madeline Ferguson, right? What is the connection between all of these? Yes, it's very clear. The connection between Laura and Madeline is they're played by the same actress. I mean, they're related and they were in the same house. But, and I think that Cooper already has Madeline aside, he has made the connection through the Flesh World magazine, Ronette, Laura, and Teresa Banks. So, it's still a confounding factor. But going back to what you said, Boomer, and tying it to what Cooper himself had said, actually, I'm not sure his exact words. The noose is tightening, or the road is narrowing, or something like that. The evidence is piling up, and they're getting closer and closer to solving this puzzle. And okay, I'm not actually changing gears here, but I am changing perspective in how I approach it. We all know, we've talked about it many times here, that Lynch did not want this murder solved. This is not the narrative he wanted to go with. He wanted this mystery to remain open. And I'm not sure if he means that in terms of, well, he's got to mean that in terms of everybody. He was never going to let the audience know blatantly that Leland was the host for Bob. We all knew it was Bob. We just didn't know how and who, with whom Bob committed the crime. So it makes me wonder if his original idea for Bob would have been more intelligent, more calculated, not making a foolish mistake like this, like I just pointed out. I wonder if he would have been more of a Moriarty and less of a Joker,
But we already are going to get our Moriarty in a little while.
Good point. So it makes more sense that I had not actually considered that before. What if the character of Wyndham Earl was taking the place of what Bob was supposed to have been with Leland? What if Bob and Leland had continued into the rest of the season and there was no mandate to solve the mystery? What if he was the one trying to garner the power, and it does fit within his modus operandi within the lodges. He's trying to not only get freedom from the lodges, but seemingly have some kind of power over the lodges. He considers himself upwardly mobile in the demon ranks, so to speak. And then Wyndham Earl is introduced as just a normal human who is trying to insert himself into that hierarchy. He's trying to gain power, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that when Philip Gerard as Mike, as he's talking about Bob, he refers to Bob as his familiar. The term familiar being from from sorcerers and magical lore, right? The witch's familiar, an other dimensional entity that assists you in your studies of black magic and the acquisition of extra dimensional power, right? It's very clear that when we meet Wyndham Earl, that's what he has been trying to do. He is trying to access the power of the other realm, so to speak. And it sounds like Philip Gerard / Mike, somewhere in his history, was doing something very similar. I don't know if Mike was always a Black Lodge denizen, or at some time prior to this was just a normal human who found a way to enter into the congregation, so to speak, of the Black Lodge denizens. Because it would be interesting if that was the case, and Bob was his conduit in, which would fulfill that role of being his familiar. But anyway, just a lot of speculation there on my part.
No, I mean, it's interesting.
Anyone else got some thoughts?
Bob is nuts.
Bob is knucking futs. Yes, that is true.
So Andy was never a suspect in the murder of Laura Palmer, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, interesting you say that, because I do have a recollection that, yeah, you're right. He was never a suspect within the span of the show, within the narrative of the show, with the possible exception that, I think there was a line, everyone is a suspect. So in that regard, but he was never a serious consideration. But I do remember conversations back when season 2 was actually airing, people saying, hey, how about Andy? Why Andy? He's the least likely. So, he must, with that kind of, television logic. So there were people that had posited that, but I don't think anyone did seriously.
I mean, yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Well, he is the least likely suspect.
True. That is true. I'm not disputing that aspect.
Do you think when he saw Lucy with the baby, he thought, wow, did she have it already?
That's exactly what he thought, yes.
Yeah.
Not smart. Okay. It's fine.
I do understand it, right? Your reaction based on a more emotion and your anxieties. You see your girlfriend that is pregnant, suddenly she's holding a baby. Oh boy, right? I understand that. That's your first instinct. I think the fact that it leads to him passing out, like I said, that's not normal behavior. That usually is an indicator of low blood sugar, circulatory problem, lack of oxygen, and all of those things would be exasperated by your heart rate going up suddenly. So I don't know what to make of that specifically, but yeah.
I guess this episode was pretty streamlined, though, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I would say this is one of the ones that requires the least amount of Lynchian analysis. Yeah.
And Ben Horn's having a bad day.
Indeed.
He is, and what's interesting about it is he's having a bad day. Yes, you could argue that yesterday was a worse day for him. Now there is potential hope for him. He sees a light at the end of the tunnel. He just doesn't like the source of that light. And now he has to choose between, getting out of a murder sentence and giving up a fortune. So, oh well, too bad, so sad.
All right. Well, I think that's going to about wrap it up for this episode.
Yep.
We'll go one time around the horn. Boomer, what do you have coming up?
I will be on Friday night last call this Friday. Troy can probably say more about that, and then we'll have Geeky Geezers on Sunday. And I have to get the story to Troy, but looks like we have some maybe good Batman news for a change. So I will let you.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, that's fine. I get you. I can. It's okay to be skeptical, right? So yeah, that's all. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Troy.
Well, you guys know that every weekday at noon Central is Liquid Lunch. Excuse me, tomorrow is WTF Wednesday. I've already got one lined up, and it's going to be a scorcher. Tonight, join us immediately after this stream on 3 out of the 4 channels here. Just stay where you're at. You will be auto-dramatically teleported to Victorian England for the next in the casebook of Sherlock Holmes, The Creeping Man. And then, yes, as Boomer alluded to on Friday, big last call. Going to have a very big panel with a lot of other YouTubers you probably know. Hope you can join us to hear the news updates and so forth that came out of ICC Con. Did I say too many C's? ICC Con. Yes, ICC Con this past weekend. I think you should really be looking forward to it, and I'm going to take advantage of that day to get the call out and make the firm announcement that we are in kicking it into high gear to get Boomer to 500 subscribers. I hope that. With the guests that we're going to have on Friday, I hope that will give us a little extra reach for the message, for a good message, not the message.
Yes, as we don't like that message.
Exactly.
Yes,
that's it from me.
All right, Netter.
Well, let's see. Right after this, I will be joining Troy over in 221B Baker Street, as we watch another exciting episode of Sherlock Holmes. Thursday, over on Thursday Things, my special guest will be Robert James. He is the writer, producer, director of 15 Days, which we saw previously on my channel. And one lucky winner at that point won a poster, and that was Geek Fly with Nate. And this time, we're going to be watching his film noir called One Step Ahead. And one lucky winner will get a autographed copy of the DVD. But you gotta be present to win. Let's see. Then Saturday, over on my channel for Retro Cinema, we'll be watching the movie Heroes with Henry Winkler, and I believe it's Sally Field as the female star. It's a dramedy. I mean, I'd say more drama. But it's a really good movie. I'd seen it a couple times years ago, but I remember it being a really interesting film. Let's see. And Sunday, Geeky Geezers, I am the one and only Geezette. And then that brings me back around to Tuesday, where I will be right back here with y'all. That's it.
And as for myself, I do have a review coming up soon for Iron Lung. Hoping to see Citizen Vigilante while I still can, before somebody decides to ban it altogether. Um, let's see. Thursday at 5:30, I'll be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater. This week's movie is Conan the Barbarian from 1982. And let's see, later on that night, right after Thursday Things, my program Coming Attractions, we get to find out what I'm going to be up to next week, up to and including my appearance Friday night on Big Al's channel for the 1974 TV movie version of Wonder Woman, starring Kathy Lee Crosby. And of course, as Enigma says in the chat, the mystery movie does return next week. So the Mystery Movie Night podcast will return 7 p.m. on Tuesday. But before that, of course, Sunday night, my program Unscripted. Don't have the link up yet, but I do have a couple topics in mind. You'll know on Thursday. And let's see. Later on that night, right after Kiki Geezers, this next episode of Reserved Seats, I'll be joined by first-time guest Fanzine Vids.
Oh, cool.
Host of the Physical Media Show. Yes. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have coming up. All right. Of course, we will return right here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel for the next episode of Twin Peaks. Any last words before we wrap it up and head on over to Baker Street?
You guys are Osmo.
All right. And as I always say at the end of every show, from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Have some pie. Because this is how we work.